Our next question sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com is from Ron Atkins in Elyria, Ohio. Elyria? I don't know. Elyria, Ohio. Is Dusty Rhodes officially a 3-time or 4-time former champion? Midnight Rider won a title. How do we take that?
We don't take it because he couldn't take it. Because as everybody who was around then knows, a masked man could not hold the NWA World Heavyweight Championship because he would have to reveal his identity to the NWA Board of Directors to be certified as champion. And the Midnight Rider would not do that, because if he did do that and revealed that he was really Dusty Rhodes, because of the loser leave town stipulation, he would have had to have left and vacated anyway. And didn't they pull the same thing on Mr. Wrestling 2 one time?
Did they pull where he won the title and they didn't give it to him because he wouldn't unmask?
I don't think they actually put him over where he won it, but there was some kind of deal where that he refused the opportunity or whatever because he would have had to have unmasked or something. It was a way Dusty used it to actually win the title so the people would think he got screwed because he was in a position between a rock and a hard place. He wanted the world title, but he couldn't admit he was the Midnight Rider, or elsewise he would have had to have left Florida. And that just wasn't going to happen.
What do you think of that in general? Using that, having a world champion come in, wrestle a masked babyface, and a screwjob finish. Fans are understandably maybe upset by what happened, but it makes sense in the rules. What do you think about doing that in general? You have a problem with that, or you think it's an okay booking philosophy?
Well, it was one of those things. It was controversial, but most of the regular fans bought it. It was the 80s, mid 80s and late 80s, the vocal small group of smart fans that were on Dusty's ass a lot were very vocal, but there were so few of them that it didn't really have any impact on the, regular fan base and the overall business. But Dusty would try to come up with different ways that he could be screwed out of things, or that he would almost be to the top of the mountain, almost get the prize, and then be knocked back down. And that was another one of them. But sometimes when you do that too much, as with anything else, or, it just, people get tired of it. And that's why we've been talking about, was the time right to pull the trigger on Cody winning the thing? Because have we passed our peak with it? With Dusty, it was years and years, and he won it a couple of times, but there was many more challenges that he came up short and had to come up with creative ways to get out of it rather than just being beaten. And that wasn't because of his ego. That was due to business. You didn't want to beat, the people's hero more than you absolutely had to. But his chase was sometimes more profitable than his reign. But somebody just brought that up, and I'll say this and then I'll quit. Is they said, well, if Cody had won it, then what would have happened? Well, Cody could have had rematches with Roman Reigns. Could have defended against Brock Lesnar. The thing with Seth Rollins, whatever the fuck. What's Roman Reigns going to do now that's different than he's been doing? There would have been a lot more different things for Cody than there would for Roman, but nevertheless.
What did you think in 1988 when Dusty brought back the Midnight Rider, this time not in Florida, but for Crockett? Did you actually think it would work?
No, it didn't have the same spirit. It had come after Crockett's business had been on the downslide because of, as we've talked about, all the purchases of the different territories and new talent. Even if it was great talent, there was a bunch of it, couldn't be absorbed. And then that came along, and I've told the story, but we were there that night in Roanoke at the Civic Center. It fucking rained and it was wet. And they had to put Dusty on that horse, and that horse had to ride up that steep concrete ramp in the back of the Roanoke Civic Center to come out down the ramp then into the people, and this was on television and everything. And I've never seen a fucking horse struggle. It looked like a deer on ice trying with Dusty's 350 pounds trying to walk up that slick concrete ramp in the back of that building. We thought they were both going to take a bump before they got out there. And it just, it didn't work at that. It wasn't Florida 5 years beforehand. It didn't work at that point.